I got to hand it to Frank Veith for allowing me this privilege of being able to talk about the great military here. I see we have General Tarak Radwan from the Egyptian Army here, a vascular surgeon. We see a great many military people here, and I thank you for showing up. I'm going to show you a battle this year, but more modern. We've talked of some in the past, in the 40s. And let's talk about one in 2002. It's where we had the Navy and the Army joining together as brothers. If I had told you, I would have to kill you. Any disclosures? All right, here is the Takurghar. As you can see, a very important observational post pathway for the Taliban as they came through here. And they gave the order to some SEALs to get up there with an Air Force gentleman who is going to be a forward observer for calling in airstrikes and all that, which you get a good insight. This peak is over 11,000 feet. And it was in time of deep snow and all that sort of thing. You can see all the other mountain passes. And they had bad intel. The Battle of Takurghar is part of an Operation Anaconda, a joint operation combining conventional and special operators, the first major engagement post 9/11. Did anybody see 12 Strong? That was just before this. I recommend you seeing what our Ranger Special Forces units can do in that. They were told 2.5-year operation. They did it 23 days and didn't lose a man. But this is a different one here. Here on March 3, a Mako 30 was a 6-man Navy SEAL operation with the Air Force Combat Controller Forward Observer John Chapman. They were ordered to set up an observation post on that peak. Large mountain, commanding view of the Shayalkot Valley, where U.S. forces were going to launch a major offensive against Al-Qaeda. And the team was led by Navy SEAL Commander Britt Slabinski. Well, in the early morning, a reconnaissance team of SEALs went there and attempted to infiltrate, and they were tasked with establishing that. Shortly before 3 a.m., it lands there and instantly were hit by enemy fire. Well, the enemy isn't stupid. They know that's a place that's going to be there, and we had bad intel thinking it might be open. Well, it wasn't. There was over 400 Taliban waiting for these guys. Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts fell off, and they knew they had to go back for him after they crash landed. And it was forever known as Roberts Peak after this encounter right here. Here's just a crashing where they landed, an artist depiction. Here's the real one from when they were up there. You can see it's barren and cold, deep snow. The team was headed by Master Chief Britt Slabinski. He is now a retired Navy SEAL who received the Medal of Honor for this battle. There are 2 Medal of Honor winners among the 27 men on this peak. I think that says a boatload about what the men we had up there. He decided that Robert's only chance of survival, they got another chopper and tried to rescue him. There was one of several ordered to recon positions on the mountaintops to provide overwatch and close air support for the conventional forces below. So they were in a hornet's nest of enemy activity, their quarters, and Special Tactic Officer said. Tech Sergeant John Chapman was already shot and wounded, and he roused from unconsciousness with 3 bullet wounds, and he was alone at that time and bleeding from several wounds, and for an hour he himself, by himself, fought against Al-Qaeda, surrounding him on 3 sides. Chinook Copper. Rangers found out there were 7 SEALs up there. They said, we got to go after our brothers. There are 400 Taliban. So we had 2 choppers, each with 10 Army Rangers. And I'm kind of sensitive to the Rangers, having gone through that course in '74. And they took aim, took hit by rubber-propelled grenade launchers. What Chapman did next cost him his life. But the military has video from a drone. And he saved the lives of the Rangers by taking out the positions they were trying to take out, those choppers. After 16 years, Chapman's heroism was honored in a White House ceremony when President Trump posthumously awarded him the Medal of Honor. Chapman's 3 actions, his voluntary decision to return out of unconsciousness with 3 wounds, came back to rescue SEALs of the other, and under withering fire, he seized 1 machine gun bunker, Killed all there. Then, instead of staying there in the safety of that bunker, went to the second machine gun bunker, took it out. This was alone to give him a posthumous medal, but he kept going and started saving the Rangers as well, to allow their choppers to get down. Former secretary, written testimony from 4 of his teammates was key to that initial award, getting the Air Force Cross, the second highest award for valor. In June of 2016, former Air Force Secretary Deborah Lee Jones concluded he had lived to fight on and recommended be upgraded to the Medal of Honor, and Defense Secretary, prior Marine General Jim Mattis, ultimately approved the Medal of Honor. 10:30, after an exhausting climb, because where they had to crash, the Rangers of 1 unit got up there, and reinforcements were present already from the Taliban. These Rangers stormed the enemy position, securing the hilltop, getting up there. 1,200 hours in enemy counterattack. It was a force of 400 with unknown reinforcements coming in. 1,300 hours, Cunningham and others were wounded in the fighting, urged for medevac at 14:30. They were told to stand down because it was just too dangerous. 1,900 hours, Cunningham was declared dead after frantic efforts to keep him alive. 2,000 hours, helicopters arrived to evacuate the Rangers that were wounded. A separate chopper picks up the remainder of Mako 30, and the Battle of Takurghar draws to a close. 7 U.S. soldiers died in the fighting. All told, 7 trapped SEALs, 20 Army Rangers jumping in to be with their brothers to not let them be swallowed by 400 Taliban. They encountered and they killed over 200, and their heroic actions are legendary to this point. What those gentlemen did, fighting for 17 hours straight, and then they walk off of that mountain on a helicopter. I think that says loads of who these gentlemen are. So these are the men killed in action. Navy SEAL Petty Officer Roberts, who named Roberts Ridge after him, after that area. Sergeant Chapman, Congressional Medal of Honor winner. Jason Cunningham, Sergeant Philip Spytek Sivak, and then from the Ranger Regiment, Corporal Matt Commons, Sergeant Bradley Cross, and Specialist Mark Anderson from the Ranger Regiment. I was supposed to be with the 75th Rangers, but I got into med school, so combat arms was gone for me, and I was Medical Corps. Okay, this is one of the books written on that topic, the SEALs and the Rangers, working together, killing over 200. I guess 400 versus 27 evens things up. What do you guys think? I think when you mess with the best, you die like the rest. That's just the way it is. Here's another book on Roberts Ridge, written about these fine gentlemen. Possible to put down. Again, the battle features Special Operations Forces from all 3 services, 20 Army Rangers, 7 Navy SEALs, pilots, Air Force combat controllers, parachute rescuemen successfully against entrenched Al-Qaeda fighters atop 11,000-foot peak, actually. Here's some of those gentlemen that were on that peak. Great Americans, would you not say? Combat Controller, Sergeant John Chapman, Congressional Medal of Honor, Air Force. The last one from the Air Force was in Vietnam. And here's SEALs, Slabinski, getting his Congressional Medal of Honor from President Trump. United States Navy. Great, great men. Thank you for listening, gentlemen.